Hello everybody and welcome to Stainless Steel. This is Captain Turtle Waffle coming to you, and I'm coming to you from Denmark in more ways than one. Do I want to only be attacking with generals? Oh, sure, yes, let's make it as hard as possible. And I have come to play what is apparently a pretty historically accurate depiction of Denmark in the Middle Ages. So let's have a look at this. At the beginning, Denmark is a financially weak faction. You may struggle to expand or even to survive. To assist the player, there's a script that adds some more additional florins. Various amounts until the faction is large enough. The choice lies before you. Accept this support and navigate your journey with an injection of resources, or decline, opting for a heroic endeavor to survive solely on the financial foundations laid by your realm. Well, let's try to decline any extra money and see how we can get on our merits, shall we? So, apparently, Denmark reforms not fully implemented. First cases, we may be supported financially by your people, but apparently we've rejected that, so that's not happening. Okay, good. So, here we are. There's a Norwegian diplomat over there. We have ours here in the lands of northern Germania. And we have our crown prince of the realm, Magnus. Who is, now this is very interesting. Right? I mean, already with Danish geography, I mean, we can see that from the base game, there's definitely a greater resemblance toward our actual shores. Being a bit of a Dane myself, I can tell you for sure that there's been some conflation of islands here. It's all a little let me see. It feels everything is a little bit more elongated. You know, like they've taken a stretch this way to the entire world map, I would actually say. A little bit. But, you know, maybe this is just what happens when you need to flatten the earth for gameplay purposes. Okay. Then, I suppose this is supposed to be the island of Falster. This is Zealand. Roskilde is indeed a historic capital of the Danish realm. So I am happy to see that. I'm very happy to see that. And I guess they are alluding to the current capital of our realm, with Copenhagen being somewhere around here. Though actually, if I'm to... yeah. And this is supposed to be Køgebugt, I suppose? The Bay of Køge? Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, then we have Lund over in Sweden, also an important medieval town, where the... Archbishop sat actually on a very well, on certain occasions the Danish nobility would be ruling out of Lund. It was of course now it is part of Sweden, but for much of Danish medieval history, a lot of administration has been going on from this as a spiritual but also political center of the Danish nation. So having it in here is included is actually pretty cool. And then this would be the island of Bornholm, here part of the general Skåne region, which is here we have Scan, I suppose. Maybe that's just because they don't have our native Anyway, that's just we Danes having a superior amount of vowels. We have like 3 more than the rest of you guys. Ha ha ha. You can laugh, and I will laugh in your face for that all day. Actually. So. Like that. Haha. There we go. So that's the name of the actual region as we write it in Danish. Yeah, and of course this island, Bornholm, is part of that. Then this is supposed to be Falster, which is quite a bit smaller than really is, geographically speaking. Then we have Lolland over here, which is quite a bit larger. It stretches, I mean, usually, I think I would have capped it around here, because as they've chosen to do it, actually, they've chosen that Langeland, which basically just means long land, is right here off the coast of Fyn, which sort of, I mean, it's supposed to be sort of down here-ish, but quite a long way away from Lolland. It's supposed to end here, and here is supposed to be a small town called well, a small merchant town, but actually it only came into prominence in the 1500s, and we're still a few centuries off of that. So yeah, why not? Why include anything about that anyway? But there will be a coastal town here, which has historically had very close links, and still to this day has links with northern Germany in Lübeck over here, which is right there. So we shall endeavor to capture that eventually. Actually, you might indeed, if you go to this sort of region of the world here and exclude the fact that this bit of land doesn't really exist, there will be proposed a link between Germany and Denmark, and it'll be sort of around here. And that's going to be very, very interesting. So it, yeah, look out for that in 5 years or whatever. There's going to be a huge bridge, and it's going to be underwater because we're cool and do that stuff. Anyway, yeah, but they're building it in this area right now, so you can go see the factories. It's pretty cool. Anyhow. So what do we got? Well, then we have like 50 different islands down south of Fyn who have been bulked into this little landmass here. So yeah, this says Sjælland, which is well, an approximation of what we currently call Sjælland, land of soul, I suppose. And yeah, I do take umbrage a little bit with Lolland being the link between Sjælland and Fyn, which we have here, and then Jutland, because in actual fact, I mean, this distance here is much more representative of the actual distance between the two islands over here at the Great Belt. And so what we have done today, of course, is build a bridge between the two. If the map had looked anywhere like this, our bridges would have run from here to there, but they do not. Yeah. Anyway, geographic nibbles aside, let's see what our royal family looks like. We have our Crown Prince Magnus. He has a little bit of an army. We have Roskilde, where we have a few troops as well. And a King Niels, who is getting up there. I mean, he must be hitting retirement age any day now. And then we have Ingolf Svensson. Yeah, so we have a couple of avenues for exploration and exploitation. And, I mean, coming from the western part of Jutland here at Ribe, which is another historical medieval town, I would be remiss not to pay homage to my, my old locale. Of course, I come from a much newer city called Esbjerg, which is actually around here, and then, yeah. Actually, Esbjerg is roughly where Ribe currently is located on this map, and Ribe was originally sort of right south of it, and still is. It's a lovely city. You should visit it sometime. Anyway, let's see if we can get the Bulle, which I assume he would be. Yeah, it's a name I don't see too often. But anyway, we're gonna go into Ribe. And he gets it. Excellent. So we see that we have Erik the Mauler, and he's got some infantry troops that are of decent quality, it seems. Then there are some woodsmen and a bunch of bønder here called Bonnier. Yeah, but we will call this bønder, which is the Danish word for peasant. And then we have hunters, which would presumably also be peasants in this day and age. But anyway, let's leave that aside. So, okay, looking at this, I think I want to strike at Ribe quite early. So we're just going to get on over there. And I know that going into the red in this game carries some pretty steep penalties. So, here from Skåne. And I think we're going to either the, let's bring the spearmen and some peasants and put them on a boat, because we want to reinforce our army and make for a nice spearhead into whatever forays await us. Yeah, let's live dangerously. Oh, no, actually no. We're going to build one farm, and we're going to tolerate a little bit of financial uncertainty. Let's see what we can do to make some more money in the short term. So we have some traders around here. We have some merchants. It's good to see. Oh, this guy is very good at his job, but he's not making a lot. So I'm thinking of sending him somewhere nice. Maybe we should take a look at some of these places down here. This looks very promising. And stuff like this might be like vineyards or something.
Yes, my lord. Tomorrow's journey awaits.
In what looks like to be the Holy Roman Empire.
Ready to trade.
Which, of course, historically was a sort of loose confederation of essentially city-states under local feudal lords. Though not feudalism in the sense that...
Ready to trade.
I mean, feudalism for the peasants, but with a burgeoning merchant class as the Middle Ages got on. You know what? I have a good feeling about sending our merchants down there. And then over here, we also have a merchant over here in the Baltics. Or was this? This would be sort of northern Poland or something, northeastern Poland, Prussia.
Ready to trade.
Of course, given the time. The rise of the knight. Okay, at the beginning of the millennium, the warriors in Latin Europe enjoyed no hereditary status, hence the old English word knicht. Servant. Yeah. However, they began to fulfill an important role as horsemen. French chevalier, cheval, horse. Yeah. What distinguished them was their possession of good horses and their skill in using them. In the following centuries, these horse soldiers slowly transformed into elite warriors, and by 1200 they were considered noblemen, or the next best thing. The units of knights are available to be recruited from the landowner's buildings. Consider the following issues and consequences. The building is available in both castles and cities, but establishing the building is quite fast as it reflects granting of the land to the knights and the process of their settling down, not building something physical. The refill of the recruitment pools of the knight units is very slow, but they are recruitable, fast to recruit. This means that we can keep the units unrecruited until there's a pressing need. Be economical with the knights in battle, as the losses do count in many instances. You'll have to wait long to refill the pools, and there may be another battle with need for heavy troops. Mind also that the spanding does not refill the pools, but it does save money. So many times you might be better off disbanding if you have no need for their fighting services, I suppose. Many faction-specific buildings add to the refill of the recruitment pools. This is not visible in the description of the buildings, but will manifest as some numbers. Okay, so mind that the knights and the users are they're very expensive in upkeep. Treating them as standing army will lead you into bankruptcy fast. Recruit them when you need to defend yourself, or after you've gathered a chest of war and you're just about to striking the enemy. Alright then. And we are playing on the very hard. Okay. I thought I was playing on hard. Okay. The game would beg to differ, apparently. Okay. Be aware that the funds forecast displayed in the financial panel may significantly differ from what you'll actually have in your treasury in the following turn. Okay. The discrepancy occurs because, in certain situations, funds may unexpectedly disappear during or after your turn. These instances are listed in the panel, but only retrospectively after this turn has passed, owing to quirks in the Medieval 2 Total War game engine. Specifically, if you have a general abroad, be it in foreign province or in a ship or sieging an enemy settlement, you will incur substantial expenses for their supply, which will be reflected in the financial panel in the subsequent turn. For a comprehensive understanding of the supply system, check relevant explanations in the pop-out windows that appear during your play. For a smoother experience with fewer discrepancies between forecast and in-game reality, starting the game at a lower difficulty level is an option. Oh dear, we're past that. This also disables the supply system, reducing the impact of these differences. Oh well. Okay. So, and the council wants us to take Ribe. Well, isn't that nice? I was about to think of that very same thing. And oh my lord, we're lucky. Our spy has opened the gates for us, and our troops can just waltz in there immediately. So we can stave off our economic demise. and hopefully make sure that our troops will never flee from our banners. But in order to win fame and fortune, we have to defeat Erik the Mauler. How would you translate the Mauler? I don't know, Slakton or something. Slakton Erik. And here comes Kong Niels. Yeah. I like that they have it translated. You know, the title of king has been translated here into Kong. Konge would be the nominal noun, and then if you have the predicative noun, as in King Charles, for instance, we remove the E at the end to go from 2 syllables to 1 and say Kong Niels instead of Konge Niels. So, unlike in the English system, when English language, we have a little difference there. But it's nice that the game notices that and sort of incorporates that. I appreciate that. I tip my hat to you, developers of this lovely mod. Okay, so Kong Niels and Slakton Erik, which would translate into, retranslate into sort of English into Erik the Butcher, something like that. So here we go. We are the Danes, and we have come to assert our right.
If the enemy show you mercy in battle,
Det var en mørk og stormfuld aften. And that is a reference that all my Danish followers will enjoy. At least I hope so. Certainly, I mean, okay, unless you are under the age of, I don't know, 15, then you might not know. But, because I don't know, I'm, I've just gone past 30. I don't know what the kids are up to these days, but I know what we're up to here. We're up to swinging some axes here around. That is what we like to do. So in Regnum Daniae, which is Latin, in case you had any doubts, this is not how Danes talk. Well, but I must say though, I quite enjoy these town layouts, and so I want to bring in some lovely troops from all sides. We're going to explore this map with everything we have. So we're going to put sort of our better troops on the left, we're going to put our peasants on the right, and we have our king, who will stay over here by the peasants, because he's a man of the people, you see. And then we have our general, Magnus, our crown prince of the realm. He will be sort of tasked with distracting our foes from the center. And apparently he's done so pretty well, because our enemies are just all located at the gates, really. So we are happily marching upon them. Yeah, I really like the layout of this town. This does not resemble Ribe by a long shot. We don't have such hills. I'm very sorry to say, yeah. Either the geoengineering of the medieval Danes has surpassed anything we have managed to accomplish since, or this settlement is not representative of Danish geography. I don't think Ribe has ever looked like this, and I don't think it can. Actually, it's a very low-lying city. It's very flat when you get to it. It's lying on essentially a type of small floodplain, which is also why it is actually relatively endangered as far as Danish coastal cities go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing much to indicate a floodplain here. But yeah, it has little ponds and rivers scattered throughout it, and there are sort of some marshy type lands around it, as the delta leads you into the North Sea, or as we call it, the Western Sea, because it's west of where we are as Danes. Yeah. So we're just prodding along. And they have all retreated into the square. Which is all up on this magnificent hill. One wonders where their archers are. Whether they'll just sit back here behind the lines, or whether they'll try to come out at us and take some shots. No. Coming out and taking some shots seems to be their preferred mode of operation. Alright, so it looks like our elites will come first, which means that we are in for saving some cash. And here comes the general, apparently. Oh, well, I mean, let us welcome him. So I think we should bring our crampons in from the flank and see if we can charge him while we tie him up with some, this Lennevanment. Yeah. If we just take a look at this word, this is not too dissimilar from Danish at all. It sort of reflects an internationalized version of Danish with the AE instead of the E, which is another one of those little letters that we have uniquely crammed into our Scandinavian language. Yeah, so I can show that to you later on. So what do we have here? Well, we have a king racing to meet his foe. And I think we should just send our heavy infantry up here to deal with their peasantry. Ouch! Okay. They were expecting that charge apparently because they were sort of bracing for it.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
But the hunters were not so lucky. Not so adept at anti-cavalry tactics, were they? No. Right. I guess it's not their general marching out there, is it? What, is that the guy? No, I don't think so. Okay. So we've basically mauled those hunters. That's nice. They're trying to stop us by attacking our cavalry, but we'll just run away and then we'll give them a lovely little thing to think about. Oh, we have some. This is another little interesting word, isn't it? When you see this, Daniae. Okay, let's see. Do they go into the language of it all? No, they don't. They say Viking Daniae, or Daniae, are commoners levied into military service with only basic equipment. However, according to their fierce Viking heritage, they can be aggressive on the battlefield and should not be underestimated. And Daniae is very resemblant of a word in Danish called which is drenge, and that means boys. So come on, boys, it's time to play. Oh no, they're just trying to get away from us. Well, if that isn't an opportunity, I do not know what is. Let's plug any holes we have and schmackaradooda all the way. I have more boys than you do.
By the grace of God, our men have slain the enemy general.
Beautiful.
These troops will lose their will to fight.
Eric the Mauler has been mauled. Alright, how are our peasants doing? They've just been absorbing some arrows at the moment, so I guess they're fine. Let's just bring them over here at their own pace. Alright, so now our infantry has engaged theirs. Let's not rush this. Time is on our side. I will say the music of this is making me very happy. I can tell you. Can you charge? Ah, no, not quite. But you can make them route, and that is just as well. As long as we don't lose our king, of course. But of course, they are close to the square, so they will reform. But it's still disruptive to whatever military outcome they can hope to achieve, that suddenly they find themselves repeatedly having to force their troops back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Let's see if we can sort of overwhelm them. Oh yeah, they feel overwhelmed. They feel overwhelmed too, and we take some prisoners and capitalize. Good, good, good. So, Team 3, just, yeah, continue into these peasants. Actually, just... Yeah, the Huskarls over here. Huskara. We have some of those as well, over here. Yeah, Huskarls. So, historically axe-wielding, which is what is depicted here as well. Quality elite type, early professional, early bodyguards of Scandinavian jarls. Jarl. A landowner, to translate, dating back to the Viking Age. Huskala, it sort of means men of the house. And what does it say about them? Can absorb much punishment before they dish out threefold. Ferocious professional warriors wielding two-handed Danish axes. They slowly disappeared when there was no need for personal armies and the Christian medieval society started to shape up. Yes. And it is perhaps worth noting a little bit about Danish Christianity at this time, because we were not really converted actively in the same way as many European nations were. You know, the Germans were pretty actively and aggressively converted. Danish society was also, to a certain extent. There were certainly missionaries sent to Denmark, but it was simply the matter of fact that our king, Harald Bluetooth, that's the king who gave name to the Bluetooth technology via the roundabout of Danish tech developers. Anyway, he enshrined the Danish constitution, so to actually sort of create a constitutional monarchy of sorts. But, of course, not a democratically constitutional one. It was just, you know, laying down some rules of the land, Magna Carta style. To address that the Danish kingdom was to be considered a Christian nation. But that's not to say that people were necessarily wholeheartedly converted to Christianity in that sense. At the time of at this time in sort of the 11th century, there were a lot of people who still found themselves more persuaded by relatively atheistic beliefs for the time, but also relatively pantheistic beliefs for the time, based on, you know, our Viking heritage and Norse mythology and so on. So so the very monolithic representation of Christianity in this game is very much it's the reality from sort of a top-down perspective in Danish history. Like, this was when the nobility had to sort of be Christian, because otherwise you were sort of outside the club and outside the remits of what the king had established here in with Jellingstenen and the proclamation of what the Danish state was. But at the same time, this was also accomplished by essentially a charm offensive. Like, you know, we don't celebrate Christmas in Denmark. We celebrate Yule, and of course it has so many characteristics of Christmas. But a lot of the characteristics of Christmas also come directly from our pagan heritage. The whole stuff about dragging a lot of lights in and having huge dinners and stuff like that, that comes from pagan traditions. And even also Roman traditions before they converted to Christianity. So there's a lot of having Danes adopt Christianity by making Christian traditions from what was originally pagan ones. I don't think I'm explaining it particularly well, but then again, I'm not a historian by trade. Oh dear, Magnus has lost a few troops. But that's okay. It's the Huskarls. They are going to fight back. They are relentless, aren't they? They really are a hard nut to crack, those Huskarls. We really need to get our act together.
Like this, we will smash the enemy.
Need to try and sort of break their formation somehow, but they just so good.
Heavy infantry!
Heavy infantry! Sounding suspiciously British there, but I won't hold that against you. Jesus, we're losing a lot of troops on this. Bring in the peasantry! Riff raff! You will be needed.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Yeah, we're just fighting the top 10% here. But here come the peasants. Send in the riffraff. Overwhelm them with sheer force of blob. And there you see. What could not be accomplished with skill at arms is now being handily demonstrated with numbers. Quantity has a quality of its own.
Praise the saints! Our men have taken control of the city. All civilized peoples will be awed by the victory we have won here today.
Yeah, sort of. Look at that though. Our Huskarls, they killed over 400 people. And we healed 16 of them, so that's very nice, isn't it? Welcome to Denmark, a very violent place in this time in history. This is not an inaccurate thing to be depicting, to be honest. Danish society was pretty rough. It's only in the last 200 years that we've gone, you know, all soft and pacifist. And then recently we've started saying, oh, let's build more weapons factories. But let's not get political about this. Alright. So, welcome to Ribe, everybody.
They deserve nothing less than death.
You know, massacring 800 people to make 600, I don't think that's worth it. Actually. We'll just take over peacefully and hope that what goes around comes around, as they say. And then we might construct some wells. Look at that, our profits are going pretty mad. But of course, a lot of this is the 8,000 reward that we got just there. And so, in actual fact, we will be making far less. But still, enough that we are in the green.
Honor, Lord.
Local spices. Herbs, unique vegetables, and other plants. These are valuable trade goods. How valuable?
Ready to trade.
And middlingly valuable.
Continuing on.
Ah, hello,
On
Frankfurt.
my way. Setting up a trade route. Ready to trade. Yes, my lord.
Ah, yeah, you see,
I
trading
shall trade
wine
this with
here
you.
makes 373. A lot more than the odd 60 that they were making
Yes,
before.
my lord.
Let's, maybe we should,
cannot reach
yeah,
that
let's
place,
head to
my lord.
Frankfurt.
Yes, I shall speak with their representative.
And so, next stop on our shopping list will probably be Lübeck.
Sire,
troops ready for action. Okay. Fit for office. Okay, he's an aristocrat. He can benefit from an office and acquire provincial titles. If he is the faction leader, he can receive the crown, provided all the criteria are fulfilled. Good health is usually also a requirement for developing various skills. He's plain, looks very normal in every feature of his face or body. Ah, I can relate. Yeah, I mean, intelligent, of Danish princely blood, accomplished engineer. Well, yeah, if that doesn't make him Danish, I do not know what will. Okay. I mean, we do build bridges after all. Thinks of his people. Oh, that's so nice. But apparently, okay, adds a few points to population growth for certain buildings. Wall, glorious undertaking for some historical enthusiasts with medieval 2 proclivities. I do really respect what has been done with this game. It's fun to actually engage with something that was made with an understanding of and respect for the period in question. And they're getting quite a lot of they're making good on quite a lot of detail here. I like that. So, seeing that how many of our troops are decently expensive, it would be remiss of us not to put them out on the warpath, so to speak. I'm going to leave behind the most severely hampered peasants, and then take our dear king out on the road. And in order to keep an eye on the Germans, because when should you not be keeping an eye on the Germans? Jesus. Yeah. We're going to put a watchtower there, and oh, in so doing, we spot another mauler. This one called Ribe. Okay, well, we're just gonna skip right around him. Ooh, there are some hunters here that we could make purchase of. Yeah, I will have to consider that. I don't think I'm going to be purchasing peasants at that extraordinary price. I mean, look at that. We can get them for less than half of that in our own castles. No. But what we should be doing is probably see if we can make a plan for what to build after the wells of Ribe have been completed. So what else do we have? Are we sort of where we want to be with our various agents? Yeah, I suppose so. Let's just make sure that we can find the settlement that's around here. Ah, there we go. Kalmar. Okay, yeah. That was indeed a meaningful city at the time.
As you wish.
Okay. Yeah, well, a good find there, Jakob, as we would call it. Yeah. Next, we'll be eating sausages in Lübeck. Oh, we have the opportunity on this third turn of ours to marry off our Prince Magnus. Yeah, sure, why not? I guess the why not would be because royal weddings are expensive, and we can see that some money was just deducted from our treasury, so case in point. Impending debt. Oh, the situation is most dire. If our coffers run empty, some of our troops will abandon us. In addition, our generals are likely to develop unwelcome traits if they are forced to govern and lead without the necessary funds to do so properly. To prevent this from happening, you may raise taxes in the cities. Set administratively minded generals as governors. This will increase revenues. Or strike profitable deals with other factions. You should also check your expenses and consider cutting some of them. For example, you may disband some units or cancel recruitment, or you may cancel ongoing building projects, even though this will result in some net losses. You will get back less money than you paid. Oh. The most important point to remember is that armies abroad create significant costs on the move, at sea, and while besieging. Check your general's traits to find out how much you are paying for foreign expeditions. Recalling armies home will cancel these costs. Remember, it is always advisable to have a few thousand florins in your treasury in case you are offered a guild, an interactive event occurs, or rebels show up, forcing you to recruit some troops. Some events, e.g. a new general coming of age, a marriage, may also empty your coffers rather unexpectedly, as we just saw. Soldiers serve for money. If your treasury runs empty, most of all the sell swords will abandon you. Oh dear. Yeah. Even if you had not recruited the mercenaries, some of the units you recruit in a normal way will serve as mercenaries, and these will abandon you as well. So perhaps some of the knightly class and stuff like that. Okay. Army supply costs. Supply system imposes expenses for armies staying in enemy lands, traveling by boat, or besieging an enemy settlement based on the traits and auxiliaries of the general. If he has no specialized traits like logistician, the cost can be substantial. Note that these expenses won't be displayed in the financial panel, but will be automatically deducted from your treasury with notifications in the character traits and pop-up messages at the start of a turn. Oh dear, it makes it harder by requiring you to frequently check your general's traits and make strategic decisions based on financial considerations. It only applies to very hard campaign difficulty. If it seems too challenging or you prefer a simpler approach, consider starting the game again. Well, they're different. Difficulty setting. Thank you.
I will make them fear you.
Okay. First of all,
Yes.
I think Budle needs to go out and see if there are any... Yeah, there we go.
Surrender your
Rebels
lands
hiding.
to me. It will be easier, yes?
No. But I'm going to spy on you
For a better law.
and improve my spy.
Sire.
Alright.
moving
So,
Your will shall
now
be
that we
obeyed.
know where he is, we can avoid him.
We march to our enemy's doom.
And we can invade
Their fate
Lübeck.
is sealed, my lord. They are besieged.
We are cutting costs by cutting down our foe. Hello, Ralph. You have woodsmen. Well, how lucky for you. Not. Those are not terribly good troops, actually. So, we'll probably have a slightly easier time this time around. Which is good, because we have slightly fewer of our best troops as well. But this also means that our dear General's bodyguard will be far better positioned to exploit enemy weaknesses, because they have fewer well-qualified troops with which to actually resist us.
Show no mercy to our people's enemies.
This time we are going with a slightly different approach. We have simply located the avenue most directly leading into our enemy's heart. And then we're going for it. And so are they, apparently. They're all up there. So there is naught to do but just go caca-toodle-doo. Oh, and hello. Yeah, let's get our peasants to intercept those. Javelinmen, hunters, woodsmen. Okay, yeah. My dear king, would you mind hurrying up? Because you have some hunters to hunt down. Though you may not be... able to do so, given the logistics of all this. No. Peasants, just walk. It's okay. But keep marching, will you? Just keep doing what you do. Oh, hello there. They're shooting at us. Well, then we will definitely run at them. Come here, little hunters. You will not shoot on the King of Denmark without any form of punishment. Surely you can accept that. Ha. How do you like that, you bastards? You're not going to sit there and take pot shots at my finest peasantry without incurring wrath from your enemy. Ow, 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 ow!
If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be
Okay.
ours.
They bite. They do. But you know, our king, he's brave. He's just sitting behind his shield and going, "Ah, ha, ha, ha." And making a brave cover for his friends. Because of course all Danes are friends with each other. Even royalty consider their subjects rather, well, not at this time. They don't really consider them to have any particular worth. But yeah. Dang it. Come this way. Okay. I think you've covered for our enemy enough. Now the peasants will take over and mob them all to death. Give them the smell of your sweatiest armpits, and by the sweat of your body shall you repel them. By the smell of your flesh shall they be discouraged.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Give him a good kicking. Alright, and then come the boys. The lads. The men of the house. Lennevan. Yeah, okay. So that's essentially men for the protection of the land. And here we have Skjoldborg's men, which means like shield castle men. So they're kind of people who protect the castles. And they're just getting into the thick of it to disrupt their hunters and javelineers. How's our king doing? Are you okay? You know, seen better Sundays, but
our men have
could be
slain
worse.
the enemy general. Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
Their will to fight. I don't know what type of accent that fella thinks he's doing. Okay, peasants, time to push. Give him hell, my men. Ta-da! Haha! They don't like being charged by cavalry, do they? No.
The enemy are badly
But it is a high
They have
risk
lost
strategy.
half their men.
Or tactic, I suppose. We're in tactical view, so to speak. Is that enough distance to get a proper charge? No. No, it's not. And they are spearmen, so we should probably knock it off for a bit and let our infantry do the work here. Like,
Our men
Daniae,
are winning the
come this
battle.
way.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Yeah. There we go. All our finest and blondest friends will join you if you just charge them with all you have. Come on, Lars. Give it. Give them their all, Biwa. Knud. Ole. Ulf. All you guys. Give it all you have. Come on.
Infantry!
Charge in and finish them. So, has our king has enough punishment? Ah, no, he's still okay. Yeah, our men are exhausted, but so are they. So are they. Come on, my friends. Let's get you all in there. Don't just stand on ceremony. We've got an enemy to get out of here. Jesus, all the, more than half of all the men who decided to fight on this day have now paid with their lives for it. It's been very bloody, very costly. Let's see if you can put off a nice charge. No, you can't. No, you can't. This is just not good conditions for that. But we're still making a difference. Every time we outmaneuver them in some way, every time we move to surround them, every time we bind them through the sheer force of our formations, they wither away a little more. And there we go.
Our men have taken control of the city.
We're finally there.
All civilized peoples will be awed by the victory we have won here today.
And we healed a few folks. Mostly our bodyguard. But also some Daniae, bunch of peasants. None of the Huskars, though they did quite a lot with what they had. But this day belongs to the boys. A minute? 11:43? This smells immediately fishy. Color me suspicious all you like, but I'm gonna say I don't think we've traveled forward in time in order to take this place, may good sir. If our record keepers take this to be indeed 11:33, yes they do, then I have no words for what has transpired here. Well, anyhow. Actually, maybe we should convert this into sort of a castle type place. I think that would be good, because currently we'll have two of each, right? A couple of towns and a couple of castle-like places. I think that would be good.
It is in both our interests.
And this could potentially be the place where we meet a lot of foes, right? We have folks from the east, we have folks from the west. They might all want a part of our treasure chest. And so we will have to be ready to meet them. And we would rather meet them in a castle here in Lübeck than we would meet them in one of our financial centers here in Ribe. So. Oh dear, Kong Niels. He's received a physician to keep him in good health because apparently he's suffered a few injuries. You know, we're not gonna say anything, but we think it's done something to his head. Yeah, anyway. Marital ties. Magnus has received 1,000 florins for his marriage from the ruler's treasury. Yeah, okay, fair enough. To organize that whole thing. I hope you're bloody happy. Jarly Jutland. Yeah, okay. So now he's an earl in Jutland, in charge of land rich with trade and connections to the neighbouring and overseas provinces. Granted fiefs around Ribe. Boost for trade income, 20% income for trade, and 2 command while defending the settlement. Huh. Very nice. Okay, let's retrain our peasants. Exquisite diplomatic skills. Each time you conquer a settlement that was historically not a core province faction between 2 and 18 points. Aggressive points are added. This number depends mostly on the qualities of your faction leader, first and foremost if he has a crown, and then on his diplomatic skills, which are conveyed in this trait. Conquering any province will be barely noted by other factions and your citizens as well. Your diplomatic standing will thus deteriorate only marginally, and the unrest in your settlement will increase just by little. Okay, so he is actually very, very good at maintaining relations with both the lower classes and foreign powers. Commanded army in 2 battles. Even this little experience may prevent him from getting bad traits in certain situations. Okay. Beyond battle. Okay, this man is no longer physically capable of taking the field of battle. He is also likely to forget things he learned during his military career. Okay, so what they mean is... Okay, he's been fighting past his age. Okay, I see that. Yeah, I mean, when you're in your 60s, you don't necessarily want to go charging into infantry lines on a horse. That's pretty understandable. Okay. Let's see, where is our diplomat and our merchants at?
Ready to trade.
Well, let's have a look here. Ooh, yes. Nice wine trade there. Let's have some talks with Captain... What do we have here? Elbard.
Is there something to discuss, mein guter Mann?
Ja. Ich möchte sehr gern diskutieren Handel.
Agreed. I accept your proposal.
Excellent.
Something else?
Maybe an alliance?
No,
they
I
don't
may
like
not
that.
accept this you speak of.
Okay.
Danke for your time. It was useful.
Yes.
Alright then, but at least our
Ready to trade.
merchants are now making
Ready to
better
trade.
money because of
Ready to
our
trade.
diplomatically established trade relations. So that's good. Next step will be Kalmar, I think. You know, we need to expand into Scandinavia, because eventually we might have the opportunity to form the Kalmar Union or something like that. Who knows? Who knows what they put into this game?
Yes.
But for now, I think our third turn is well spent. The importance of financial reserves. Oh dear. The most important advice for new players of the ship is always keep a few thousand florins in your treasure as reserve. Okay. Financial buffer is vital for unforeseen situations, opportunities for marriage, investing in guilds, interactive events. Yeah. Pirates may threaten to attack you unless you pay them 5,000 florins. Are you suggesting we give in to blackmail? Apparently they are. The outbreak of plague can close all trade routes to and from settlements, severely impacting your income. Yeah, okay, so basically keep a rainy day fund. Kingdom of Denmark reforms, not fully implemented. Oh. The faction plays similarly as it did. Okay, I've seen this message before. Expansion within Scandinavia will not be treated as an aggressive expansion, and the conquered settlement will not display much unrest. They will be integrated provinces, unless the faction leader is a weak one, usurper, or lacking in authority. Okay. And we should say hello to the Franks. I thought that's what we did in Frankfurt, but anyway. So where do we find the Franks?
Yes. Without question, my lord. Tomorrow's
Hello,
journey-
Peter.
I am an enemy only to heresy, Lord.
An enemy only to heresy. Okay. We've completed the wells of Ribe. Grand. And there's farmland already, which is nice. And we can have some nice ships here. They're not too expensive actually, which is pretty gratifying. I mean, it's expensive to buy, but not to upkeep, so that's nice.
Orders, my king.
Maybe we can... You know, is there a difference between these burner and these ones? Sometimes the game distinguishes between castle units and non-castle units. So I'm going to test that by purchasing some burner in our town over there. And I like these Daniae. I think they're pretty decent, and they don't cost an arm and a leg every turn. So for standing army purposes, I think they are a pretty good bet. But I mean, those peasants, they're not too shabby either, because they've decent defense due to their shields. Their shields are better than these ones. Fancy that. Huh. Anyway, I mean, of course, the attack stat is quite different, and but the differences are not too noticeable. And they might actually be militia class as well, so they may just be free upkeep. So we're gonna experiment with that. So, generals near the capital gain loyalty and may become capable of managing the court in the ruler's stead. Ingolf Svensson has been schooled. Ah, nice for him. So he is turning into a fine manager, but not terribly loyal apparently. Maybe we should send him to Roskilde just to make, you know, keeping him in our good graces. And what's this? He has gotten Sir James Bond. No. Goodness gracious. The one and only Sean Connery as a tutor. Well, who are we to refuse? Teenage general may be schooled in a settlement without education facilities. He still needs to sit diligently. You hear that, Ingolf? You gotta sit down. The tutor, also less than an intelligent general, may get educated in the school, and then a youngster will see his schooling process speed up. Good, okay, he's sociable, he's religiously proper, he's administratively minded. Plain, troops ready for action. Okay, he envies the heir. Oh. So he doesn't really like Magnus too much. Maybe we should put them together, see what happens. He has spent some time at school and learned to read and write. Basic administrative education, tax income and trade income. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alright. I mean, so keeping him in Lund is probably the most financially savvy move. Should we get another tanner or a brothel? I'm gonna vote for a brothel and see what kind of paths that open up. I wonder what we need to get some more buildings. I guess we just need to grow this town, actually. That'll probably be the main thing. So we'll save up for getting some farms on Sealand. That'll be good. And then I guess that's sort of it for now. So that's our first episode. We have sort of established ourselves in Ribe and Lübeck, and we are ready to see what the world throws at us for our audacity. But I think we have sort of quelled our initial financial woes. For now, we'll see how it goes in future episodes when we'll have to actually muster standing armies and potentially even fight rival nations. But for now, the rebels have not given us too much cause for grief. Although they may have given quite a few wives and mothers cause for grief. Because we have lost over 1,000 soldiers on this campaign already. But be that as it may, I hope you'll have a lovely day. Be kind to yourself, be good to others. I hope you enjoy this little alternative campaign for the channel, and I will see you soon.